Hello, and let's continue the Docker course. Gabor Sabo here, the Docker course of Code Maven. We left out the slides which are here. We left the slides where we created a Docker image using Ubuntu, based on Ubuntu, and we had installed htop, and we also added a file which we created on the fly using in the Docker file. We had this command echo something. And this is fine, but usually you probably have a file already somewhere on the disk, and that's what you would like to include. So that's what we are going to see now. I switch to the command line where I have the Docker file, right? So instead of having this echo hello world, let me just create here a file. So I created echo hello Docker, let's say, and I put it in welcome.txt. So this is what I'm going to have. Then I added the Docker file. So this file is in the same directory where the Docker file is. And then in the Docker file, I say copy, and I tell it to copy the welcome.txt, which is outside, so which is on the disk of my regular computer. And this dot means just copy it locally in the current directory where the Docker inside the Docker image, okay, but the current working directory of the Docker image. So now if I just let me just show you. So this directory, this is what it has, nothing almost, okay. So it has the Docker file and it has that welcome.txt, and it doesn't. Let me just show you -al. It just doesn't have anything hidden either. Okay, and now I can run the docker build command, okay, the regular docker build command, which is docker build -t, name of the Docker image, and dot locally. And this used the previous, we already cached everything. So the only thing it needed to do, so the htop, it didn't have to deal with it because it was already, it already had an intermediate Docker image that already had that installed. So the only thing it needed to do is to copy the welcome text. So you can see actually here, let's just for a second do this. Here you can see that it's based on Ubuntu 20.04. Then we run the get update, but it says using cache. So it's everything cache, so we don't spend time on it. And then again, it says run something using cache. So that's because we already ran it in the previous, while we were recording the previous video. And then now we have next command, which is a copy command saying copy welcome.txt inside. Okay, so now I can run docker run and just run the same command. So docker run --rm to get rid of the container once it's done, and -it to be interactive. Got into the container. If I run ls-l, you can see the welcome.txt is there, and this is the welcome.txt that was copied from the outside disk. So this is now not in the same place. I can it's inside the Docker image, and now it's in the container, of course, when we are running, and I can exit it. And just to prove it to you that nothing to do with this place, I can cd out, so I'm not in that directory anymore. I can run the Docker container again, and then I'll still have the same thing, the welcome.txt. I can still see the content, it's still the same. So now it's inside, it's baked into the Docker image, and I get back just to the examples directory. And I think that's all what I had here in the slide. So this is the previous slide, and in the next slide, this is what we have, so the copy and the welcome.txt. And of course, you can copy more files, and you can even tell it where to copy, so we can actually play with this. And let's see this. So now Docker file, and instead of the dot, let's see /opt, and then if I run it Docker build, it executed the copy again, so it wasn't caching. Docker run, if now I run ls-l, the welcome.txt is not here, but if I run it on the /opt directory, it's there. So it's inside a Docker image, baked into the Docker image in the directory that you would like to put, and then just typing in cat to show the content, and then leaving the container, and that's it. So thank you for watching, and again, just keep trying to do this, and then we'll go on with the next video soon.